Joining us now is Ambassador Gary Locke. He was the United States ambassador to China during the Obama administration, former governor of Washington State. Ambassador, thank you very much for being with us tonight. This gets complicated because it looks to the rest of the world like everybody's turning on Russia. But if China stays with Russia, Russia can hold out for a lot longer.
Thank you very much, Ali. China is certainly in a predicament because even the images that we have been seeing every day on our television sets is being broadcast to the Chinese people. So they're seeing the incredible destruction, violence, death, and mayhem of Ukraine at the hands of the Russians. At the same time, the Chinese government is still enunciating the Russian line that this is really the fault of the West and NATO for coming so close to the borders of Russia. So China is in a predicament while they have longstanding ties with Russia and would like to displace the Western order devised by the EU and the United States. Nonetheless, the trade between China, United States and the EU is 10 times the amount of trade that it does with Russia. So I think China is fearing economic sanctions from the West were it to provide military or even economic aid to Russia.
And look, American polls indicate that American citizens are okay with the economic sanctions against Russia in the same way that in Europe, European citizens are concerned about it because of the amount of trade with Russia, particularly as it relates to energy. At some point, economic sanctions against China or some kind of a conflict with China on that front, that's something that's going to hit Americans in the pocketbook, and they may not sit as well with.
That's correct, because you are already seeing within Europe some reservation about going after Russian oil exports and natural gas to Europe because they depend on those energy supplies to heat their homes and to provide gasoline for their automobiles and to keep their factories going. That's why many of the sanctions have kind of gone around to avoid touching those exports of natural gas or energy that Europe depends on. What has happened is that I think Russia and China were surprised, startled by how swiftly the West and how extensively the West imposed sanctions, very broad range sanctions against Russia. But it's going to be more difficult to impose those same type of sanctions against China because, for instance, cutting Russia off the international payment financial system hurts those Russian companies. And of course, not many US companies and European countries do trade with Russia. However, if we were to kick China off of the international financial system, the SWIFT system, by which transactions occur, well, how will our wheat farmers, our soybean farmers, our pork exporters get paid from China if they sell to China? If we stop all trade with China, where are we going to get our clothes, our shoes, our sporting goods, our tools, so much of which is made in China that we buy at Macy's, Home Depot, Target, et cetera, et cetera. So there'll be a huge impact to American consumers as well. The challenge then is for the Biden administration, if China were to provide military or economic assistance to Russia in the invasion of Ukraine, how can the Biden administration have targeted sanctions going after specific companies or specific units of the Chinese government?